Okay. So first, I want to show how to winch a cash out, starting primarily with the spots on the cash out and where to winch to get either horizontal movement or vertical movement. So let's move on over here to A. A pretty common cash out for suspended structures Monaco. Right here, you have this cash out here. If you want to winch it out, most people would just winch it somewhere here and drag it off the map. But let's say you want it somewhere more in the open where you can see it from different cash out angles. From like over here or over here. So what you would do would be you would want to clear this wall, and you can't do that with like this. You could put it here, winching it like this, and bouncing it over this wall. Or you could go here and winch the bottom of the cash out where it faces the floor. This point changes depending on where you're looking at the cash out or the orientation of the cash out. Even if it's on its side, you still winch whatever part of the cash out is facing towards you and is touching the ground. So in this case, since I want it here, I need to winch this corner. I grab this and I pull forward. And it flips over and lands on the ground. Now this can be done at a maximum of 12 meters. So let's clear this debris here so I can actually move it out of the way. Get it in more open so that I can show how to winch a cash out for maximum distance rather than verticality. So for maximum distance, it really depends on where the cash out is and its orientation. Like right here, it's down on its side, and it's also hooked on this tree stump here. So chances are you're not going to get the maximum winch potential that you would get if it was standing upright on a flat surface. But still, this, you can still winch. You winch center mass, which is directly underneath the finals icon here, at maximum 12 meters, and you jump back. See, that is the max winch you're going to get at that orientation. But now we've got it flat here. If I can get it on a flat surface, again, a vertical winch. We're going to pull this up. Right here, facing towards you, whatever's facing the ground. Jump up. There you go. We can break this. It's dumb, of course, because it's going to leave a little stump. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out in the middle so that I can show the rest of this. Now, this should be a little better. If you want it to go for max length, you have to get center mass. This does not change. This point here doesn't change for distance, no matter what orientation of the cash out. Even if it's upside down, facing upright, backwards, you're not going to get a very good winch if you are facing this direction towards the top. This is because the weight distribution on different parts of the cash out varies. This part is the heaviest part of the cash out, right here. This is where if you winch it here, it's not going to move this part nearly as much. The winch itself, you need to put all the winch's power into the heavy part of the cash out. Or center of mass, which is slightly towards the bottom, right here, on the inside of my reticle. And with a maximum of 12 meters, you winch, pull back. And that is how to get maximum distance. Now let's go over here to B and do a maximum distance winch but for an upright cash out. B over here is going to be in Grandma's house on the edge of the map. Unless I'm mistaken, I am not. Okay. This is a pretty common winch that you will see a lot of teams use in ranked or comp for this specific cash out. If you stand here and break this ledge here, and you just winch center mass, yet again, and jump back, it pulls it through the window and lands it here in the middle, where you can stand on rooftops and see the height, and it is very difficult to push and steal, especially when you break things like this. And some teams go ahead and bring it a little farther by pulling it out. Now, I wouldn't pull it out this far. As you can see, I went center mass from the side, which caused it to go a lot farther than it would have if I just winched it top. But that's how you do maximum winches for length and verticality, as I showed on the first one. But I think I can show it here. But I'm going to do it with some goo, just to give myself some artificial verticality. It's not. Still going to give me some verticality. But verticality lets you pull it upwards, again, with the whatever's facing towards you, and on the ground. Pull up and over. And it will clear, every time it will clear whatever you're standing on, unless there is a ledge sticking out. For example, if you're winching from rooftop here, and the cash out is here, which I think I can move the cash out to a place where I can show that. First, let's get it over this wall. Yeah, I think I can show it from here. Okay. It takes 12 meters. As soon as it says 12, you can winch it. That bottom of the cash out right there. And it can go all the way up. But you see the ledge there? That ledge at the top of the roof shows you can't get it over that ledge because it overhangs over the top of it. This is the same for if this ledge stuck out a little farther. Like if I winched from the back of the ledge instead of the edge, the overhang of the ledge that sticks out past me would catch the cash box. Because the cash box is going to where you winched from, which would be your exact location. Okay. A is a really good opportunity to first show a good vertical winch with a little bit of verticality. And then a... Okay. So we can get max distance, which is probably not going to be able to be done from here. But we can put it over there, which is where I can give you a good vertical winch. Winch the bottom and jump up. There we go. Now, we can do the reverse. And this gives me a good opportunity to show you roughly... Well, I don't think I can reach that, but I'm certainly going to try. Okay, I can. It can go vertically up. It doesn't matter the orientation of the cash out, as long as you winch the side facing you from where it touches the ground. For all vertical winches. It doesn't matter if it's close, far, here. I will drop the cash out of floor. And now we can show this. You can bring this all the way up to the roof by just winching the side facing towards you and the bottom. And this is the same regardless of the location. What a cheeky spot. Now, we're going to give it a good max winch with center mass. And I want to show something here. You can actually winch across open spaces with max distant winches. As long as center mass is being held by the winch in this case, which is here, even when it's not directly facing you, like here, as long as you're winching that, you can still pull it, even across open spaces. And this, as long as you are standing on the height, you can also move it over anything. It doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter. You can move it over here, blow this up. You can move it over here by winching this. Goes all the way over, flips over. Here's a good example here. Now the heaviest part of the cash out is at the top because it's upside down. So all we got to do here, well, you would think, well, now I've got to change it to do a vertical winch. No. It's still the side facing you and whatever's closest to the ground. Lift up. Bam. And now it's going to fall off. Which actually, you can winch it back up. We'll do another winch. Give ourselves some height here. Break some stuff. You can make this winch here. This one is a little harder, and I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be able to make it in one try. But I'm going to attempt it. Yeah, it's going to fall back down. But I can get it in the second try. The main issue with this is, like I said, if there's something hanging out, it's trying to go in basically a straight line from where it's at to where you're standing. So if you want it here, it's going to land where you're standing, but because the cash out is heavier than you, it's going to just tilt over and fall back off. So you have to give it the right amount of pressure to put it just a little bit past you. See, it lands upright again where you were standing, and it falls back off because it's top heavy. So this makes it very hard to do like straight up winches because it will go up, but it will come back down. One thing you can do to try to combat this is get on a side. I fell. But we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to the side, and we're gonna winch bottom and pull it up. And now it's up. And the building is dying. That's dynamism, guys. And that's vertical winches. Vertical winches also have a max range of 12 meters. For example, you can winch all the way from here. It says 13, but keep in mind that the 13 meters is from the center of the cash out. You are still 12 meters within winchable range for the bottom of that cash out that's towards you. And you can pull it off, and it goes all the way to the ground. Now, let's show one. Oh, that is such a cheeky spot. But let's show one that you just genuinely can't do. You cannot winch this, and I'm going to do so because I'm going to waste a winch. It's too far away. Okay. But if you drop... Oop, my bad. I dropped too far. If you drop to these units here and try to winch, now you can. However, there's nothing for it to stand on, so it's going to come back down to the ground. If that makes sense. Okay. So now, while I'm here on heavy, I mean, it works for any class, but since I'm here, I might as well show just a little bit of tech that helps you counter some gateways. Assume there's a light gating this cash out, right? This vault hasn't opened yet. You don't want this vault to go here, but you also don't want to have to waste stuff to move it around, or try to, blow it up or something, or glitch it. Maybe your light's not here. Maybe the light can't glitch the gateway. So you, as a heavy, or a medium, or even a light that doesn't have glitch shades, you just do this. And now it's off the gateway, and it's over here. Guaranteed. This happens regardless of your class. It does not require heavy weight, and I will be showing later on light as well. But it doesn't matter. As long as the vault is facing higher than your little hitbox is. Let me go over here to demonstrate while it's upright. If you look at this vault right here, they always spawn upright like this. As long as it's upright like this, or upside down with this side facing down, you can move it like this. Now, you can't move it if it's sideways, like if it's down. But you can move it by just sliding into it and flicking upwards. But like this, now you can't move it, because you're just going to walk over it. See? Now, of course, you can get a little bit of movement by elbowing it, but it's not really enough to do anything. So, if you're a light and you want to gate, and you don't want people to use this against you, do that yourself, move it somewhere, and when it's sideways like this, then you can gate it, and they have to glitch your gateway. You can also use this, like, if the vault was up here, instead of dropping, like, RPGing it down or dematting it down, you can just slide it off onto ground where they can't drop it. And then it'll be sideways, and you can gate it, and they have to glitch your gateway or it's going to go through instantly. This is very helpful when you're needing to move a box, or needing to stop a box being moved. And I'm not entirely sure that specific thing isn't going to be patched in the future. I don't know if it's intended to be able to move vaults that way. But for now, this works. Okay, now, let's do something a little different. Private match. Cash out. We're gonna use... Sis Horizon. Or, Nozomi Citadel. I like Nozomi. We're gonna go Nozomi. And I'm going to show you how to use pads. I don't mean pads as in, like, just jump padding up somewhere. No, I want to show you how to cash out manipulate with a jump pad. There are a few ways that are pretty commonplace, like you see them in most games. For example, goo pad. It can be a little difficult to get right, and a lot of people... It works sometimes, or doesn't work sometimes. And I'm going to be showing how to do that effectively with a 100% success rate. But I also want to primarily focus on demat padding. First, let's start with, why does the jump pad move the cash out? And how. So the jump pad has a hitbox about right there. If you are standing here and you place a jump pad below you, you are inside this hitbox, and you have to move to, like, clip your feet out from under the hitbox so that it registers. This is the same for cash outs. The cash out has to come in contact with the hitbox of the jump pad. This is a good place to start. Okay, demat pads here. It doesn't matter where you place the pad, as long as it's in the range. For example, you can place it sideways here. And as long as it comes in contact with that hitbox, it's going to move. See? As long as it comes in contact with the hitbox, no matter where. Now, this can be used with DMAT and pretty effectively. For example, as most of you guys well know, this entire arena is completely customizable, and you can change it however you want. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a standing ground. But each of these places has layers to it. There's different parts of the ceiling that are called. They're where the breakpoints are. Like this part right here. So you can place a DMAT, you can place a pad in those, and it's kind of hard to see. And it's not going to work from up here, but it'll work from down there. But now if you drop this onto the vault here, it's going to move the cash out. This is good for moving cash outs and stalling cash outs. I mean, as you can see, they go for a steal. That jump pad can't be blocked by APS, and it can't be blocked by Dome Shield or Mesh Shield. If you demat that and drop it from the ceiling while they go for steal, that's a guaranteed stall, no matter what. But you have to hope they don't see it up there, because otherwise they're either going to shoot it, or they're going to move the cash box away from it. It's a pretty visible stall. So it's not something I would use to stall so much as move cash out. Like this, you can move it pretty well. Anywhere where there's a place for you to put a jump pad, where it falls with the hitbox that it hits the thing. Additionally, you can do this. I have to go climb up here just to show this. You don't actually have to demat it, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how the pad reaches the cash box, as long as it hits the hitbox. See? So anything that moves, these things here. Now this is a little too far away, but you get what I mean. As long as it hits the cash box, it works. Now, you've seen me move vaults, of course. But while you can do this with your body, you would think that you could do it with a jump pad, right? Of course. Now, this is a little harder to do in the heat of a moment, and there's really not as much of a value on that when you can just do this. Now let's go to B. And I want to show how to use goo pads. Okay, first off, I need to show how a goo grenade technically works. There's a lot of different ways to use goo. I mean, goo is extremely versatile, and it's mostly used in pro play for stall and for cover, as well as for goo padding. What a pro player means with a goo pad is they place the goo down, and they get over on the side, and they place a pad. This allows the team to jump in and get distance really quickly. When you place a goo, it starts in the center, it expands upward, and then outward. Left to right. So, let's say you place here. It's going to go up 2, and it's going to stop, because it's blocked on the left. But if you do the opposite, it's going to expand outwards to the left and then stop before it goes to the right. This is why your goos sometimes don't work. Because if it can't go vertical, it's not going to. It's just going to stay bottom. If it can't go to the left, then it's going to stop. And after that, if it can't go to the right, it's going to stop. So, in terms of goo padding and cash out, you still want the cash out to hit the jump pads inside. Like this right here. This, you would think, okay, so this is on there, so why isn't it moving? Well, it's inside it. It's inside the hitbox here. Now, if you break this, you would think that's going to move it, but it's still inside it. You haven't moved the cash out itself. But now that it's a little farther away, and you break this, now it's going to move. Because it's out of the hitbox, and the hitbox is moving into it. Now let's try this, where you don't have to move it. If you get the right distance from the cash out, then you can just drop it. Well, I just hit the window instead, so that's my bad. But you get the right distance to where when it falls, it clips out of and then back into the box. That's goo cash out manipulation. Additionally, if you have a goo gun, you can just goo and move the cash out, but that takes considerably longer. Another thing you can do is if you aim your goo here, you get a singular line of goo, which helps for, like, pads like this. Like, let's go somewhere here. Let's go somewhere. Let's say you're wanting to be able to shoot over the goo while still having some cover. You can do this with this kind of goo, with a single layer. And you can still goo pad. Now, keep in mind that you need the goo's 2-layer verticality to move a cash out. So this won't work for moving cash outs unless the cash out is down there. But it is pretty good for getting, say, hidden goo pads. Let's say you're here. You want to push here, and you want that cover. Now that's covered. That is not cash out manipulation and not what this video is about, but it is still among the principles of how goo works. Okay. Let's go shimmy our way over onto A. And for this demonstration, we're going to do verticality first. Which means I'm just gonna yeet this down, drop it over here in the ground. I want you to show pad verticality. I've already gone over how you can winch from here, but for this, if you want to go up fast, you need to place the pad closer to the cash box. The closer to the cash box it is, the higher it will go. However, if you place it too close, then we run into the same problem I discussed a little while ago, where the hitbox of the jump pad is clipped into the hitbox of the cash box. And so this is just going to pull over the... If you will winch for me, please. It's just going to pull over, and it's going to do that. And it's just going to sit upright. And it's not going to go where you want it to go. So, let's let it drop down a bit. If you want it to go, you need about a meter difference here. And now the clip is going to let it get just enough momentum to go up and onto that. Will you winch for me, please? Thank you. As you can see. Now that we're down here, when he gets his winch back, I can show you how to do a max distance winch for the distance you want the cash out to go lengthwise. You want to, let's say, I don't like this at all. I want it in this alleyway. Now, he's at max winch distance at 12 meters. Instead of winching here and putting the pad in front of him, you want it to be as far away as you can get it, so you take advantage of the winch's momentum to carry it into the jump pad behind him. If you will winch. Notice how he winched the center mass there to get it far. So that lets it go farther. It would have gone farther if it hadn't have hit this, but that is dynamism for you. And this works regardless of where the cash out is or its orientation. As I said before, the orientation for just a straight winch is different. If it's already standing upright, you can get it farther on a sideways winch than you can with it laying down already. And that is mostly due to the finals having some sort of realistic friction here, where it's too far in contact with the ground. If you will winch here, the center mass, of course. Nice. So it goes farther, but it's not going to go as far as it would if it was standing upright. And you can solve this with your jump pad, which I'm going to get rid of that so it doesn't do it again. We'll do another winch here where it's not going to get stuck, if you want to stand at max winch. And it actually, if you were confident in your heavy, you can place the pad even farther behind him, as long as it reaches it, if you will winch for me. See, I'm not confident, I don't guess. But the concept is there, and we can do it again, just to... I'm gonna put it on this side here. So, dynamism should not have done that, and that actually ticks me off. That's my bad. I shouldn't have thrown the jump. Shouldn't have thrown the red can. But at max distance, again. Now, I think you can winch center mass. I've shown you what center mass is, right? Right here, below the... Right there, yes. That's center mass. So now you can do that. But for this pad... You can winch that. Like, you see center mass here, right? You can see it from this distance, from where I'm standing right here, right? Instead of winching where you're at... Okay, let's remove that. Okay. Now, I'm going to place the pad back here to demonstrate. You're going to do center mass. You have down here, where it touches the ground. On the ground. Okay, guys. It is a very complex process that some people take a little longer to get in their heads than others. But we live, we learn, and we adapt. Okay. When you winch this cash box, if you winch center mass, but where it touches the ground, it will clear this. And it will go over here. You did well there. That's my bad. You did well. You did well. We're done. We're good. Dynamism be like. Okay. I think the gist has been done. I will go over here to B then. I've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds to show a distance movement pad. Or I have to do it again in another match. This is a good one. This is a good one here. Because this is a terrible, terrible cash out position. And everyone hates it. Okay. Now, max distance winch. See, he's standing on the height here and winching the bottom, which pulls it into it, and lets it go all the way over here. this is a good spot. Because now we can winch it into the open and stand on this rooftop here, or on the top of here. It's very hard for them to push this cash box and steal this cash box because there's no cover for them anywhere close. They have to cross out into an open street to steal. Or winch it over here, out of your line of sight, which you can easily fix with a grenade. But that is pad cash out manipulation. Thanks for the assistance. Shout out to you.